Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to the West Palm Bluff Rotary for this Thursday, July the 20th, 2017. I want to thank all of you coaches and players and guests and media. I want to thank all of you for being here. If you would take a look at your tent card at your table and the banner. I just want to acknowledge all of our sponsors. Save the time instead of reading them all off. Just want everybody to know who helped sponsor this event today. There's a lot of Rotarians who worked extremely hard to get ready for this day. Roy Farrell. And if you Google servant leader, you're going to probably find a picture of him pop up there. But he's done a great job of putting this together. Some of you just maybe new to Pine Bluff and new to the club, but the restrooms are located right when you came in the main entrance, where you broke left to come to this room. If you were to break right, the restrooms are right there. So we want you to enjoy your visit here to Pine Bluff this afternoon. When I was acknowledging the people that worked hard on the committee, I left out Pat. So Pat, sorry about that. Please forgive me for at least
Roy
one.
Did all the work.
He did a lot of work, but Pat's going to be the MC today. David Brown was also part of the committee as well. So at this time, what I would like to do is turn it over to Rotarian Robert Thompson, and Robert's going to lead us with the prayer and pledge. Thank you.
Let us pray. Father, we give you thanks for this day, for this gathering that we have here, and for the prospects that it represents. We realize that we all expose ourselves to some things that may occur that don't normally occur, but we realize that you're able to take care of every problem that shall exist and arise. And we thank you for allowing us to have the food that we have, and we pray that you might bless it. Bless our fellowship and the reports that we shall receive today. And may you get the glory out of all that we do. Through Christ our Lord we pray. Amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Robert, thank you very much. Appreciate you doing that for us. So how was the catfish, everybody? Is the catfish pretty good? All right, here's what I want to do. Let's make some noise so that Chef McAfee and his team in the kitchen can hear us. Okay, can we do that on three? 1, 2, 3. All right, great job, great job. At this time, I want to turn the program over to Pat Anderson, and he'll be the one who will introduce our speaker today.
Thank you, Alan. Thank you all for coming. This is our second year of this event, and it's growing. So we appreciate you all coming out. We're going to want to continue to do this every year, and I think this pretty much falls into a good time of year for coaches as far as timing-wise. So, coaches, any suggestions going forward, additions, deletions, what we're doing? If you don't mind afterwards, say something to Roy or myself, because we want to try to make it as about you all and your players that you bring. So we appreciate any constructive criticism or however you want to say it. But anyway, we appreciate you being here. Alan mentioned the sponsors. Thanks again for everybody, not only the businesses, but the individuals that stepped up and made this happen. Media members, we got Joe Dempsey from Southeast Arkansas Life magazine, O.C. Brown from Pine Bluff Commercial. We have Mr. Greg Gustick from Pine Bluff Radio. I know that's not Larry Potter, but we have Channel 7 here, and Wes Moore is here also in the sunroom doing his morning and afternoon talk show. Some of the coaches have already been in there, both. It's about a 10-minute little session, so we'll try to keep you in there, getting in the rotation, and it goes till 2 o'clock, so there'll be some time, obviously, when this is over to do that as well. And so speaking of that, Crossett High School and Coach Sonny Nason, I guess, were not able to make it today, so we apologize and wish them best of the season. From Dumas, we've got Coach Max Pennington. Coach Pennington, would you stand up and introduce your table real quick? I know you're just getting ready to eat, but...
Sure. Coach Pennington, Dumas High School, this is Shannon Carter, defensive coordinator, Coach Chris Fennell, Coach of the offense, Dylan Bond, Ryan Carter. They play both sides of the ball up front.
Great. Thank you all for coming. Good luck this year. Coach Bolding's being interviewed on the radio, So I know he brought two of his players. Would both of y'all mind standing up and just introducing yourselves?
Hey, I'm keeping on going. I play defensive tackle and offensive guard.
Hey, how y'all doing? My name is Luncheon. I play quarterback.
Good. Thank you both for coming. I know Coach Toddy's here. Would you mind standing up and introducing your table?
We're undergoing a situation right now. We're good at George Walker, and a lot of y'all are familiar with Mr. George. We love this. That, of course, he was diseased. He didn't want his name to be. He wants to talk to the champion. He said, and even as late as last week, Coach, do it right there, real small, and I feel the champion's real big. Stan Harold had gone through a lot of that after we decided to do it after. We decided, let's try this on the big, because we so much respect on him. Actually, we're personal. Didn't a whole lot of the headaches of that while I'm trying to coach the team. So, Stan and Harold, appreciate them. And thank y'all for advice.
Sure. Yeah, when I got through playing, I had a couple bars named after me, but I've never had a field named after me. So, I still hope, I guess. Coach Maxfield, Henderson State. Do you mind introducing your table?
Scott Maxfield, the head football coach at Henderson State. I have Tony Tadamy, my defensive coordinator, and Jeremiah Piskus, my offensive coordinator.
Thank y'all for coming. Coach Ship, UAM.
I'm Kyle Ship. I'm the offensive coordinator at the University of Arkansas Monticello. I got Darren Grego, our new defensive coordinator, with us. Thanks for having Coach Jackson. Couldn't be here. He had his family vacation in Florida. He sends his regards. Wish he could be here. Love to see everybody come to the game next year if you can make it. Southeast Arkansas. Thank you.
Thank you. Coach Monty Coleman, please introduce your table.
Yeah, with me today, my special teams coach, tight end coach, Coach Sheffield, Coach White, he's the offensive coordinator, quarterbacks coach, Coach Carrero, he's the defensive coordinator and defensive line coach. So we're glad to be here. Thank you.
Thank you. Coach Dutton? It's Coach Dutton from Watson Chapel.
Seems like food, I keep calling Coach Coleman after everything.
He on our black and gold.
Hey, thanks for having us, and I got Coach Sam on, and he's the coordinator.
Thank you. Okay, well, now it's the best part of the program. I get to sit down, and we get to turn it over to Barry Gnomes from Hootens High School Football, and I think everyone knows Barry. I'm not going to bore you anymore, and Barry, please come take the mic. Thank you.
Appreciate it. Appreciate y'all having me back to speak. I guess that's a good sign when you're asked to return somewhere to speak. And throughout the summer, it's a lull for football, and that's where our magazine comes into play. And I do a lot of speaking engagements, probably 20, maybe up to 20 a year. And this is my third, in fact, this week, and by far the best food that I've been able to have. But I'm with Hootens Arkansas Football magazine. For those of you familiar with it or not familiar with it, this is what this year's main cover looks like, and it talks about 25 years of Arkansas in the SEC, but it's also the 25th anniversary, the silver anniversary of Hootens Arkansas Football. A little bit of history about that. Hootens Arkansas Football came into play, if you'll remember back, you old-timers will remember, Dave Campbell's Arkansas Football. Well, when Arkansas left the Southwest Conference, he quit doing any preview. Well, it didn't preview just Arkansas Razorback football. It previewed everybody in the state. And I believe Wadey Moore, who was at the time at the Pine Bluff Commercial, wrote most of the high school articles for them, about a paragraph, and you would get a couple of names in there, 3, 4, up to 5 names per school in the Dave Campbell's Arkansas Football. And again, when Arkansas left the Southwest Conference for the SEC, he quit doing it. So Chris Hooten at the time, I think he was living in Albuquerque, New Mexico, and he had the idea to start up the magazine, moved here, started it up. I joined the staff in 1999. Before that, I graduated from Sheridan in 1993 and from Arkansas State in 1997. Spent a year as the Assistant Sports Information Director at Texas A&I, or Texas A&M Kingsville. Worked with the football program down there, and Coach Ron Harms a dear friend of mine, and was able to learn a lot about football. And I think there are 8 guys from A&I, what was known as A&I, who are in the NFL Hall of Fame. I mean, it's a mecca for football, especially in the Division II ranks. So got broke in my love of football there, and from when I joined Hootens in 1999, kind of took off, and I was one of the lead writers then, and I've moved up through the ranks since. And at Hootens Football, what our goal is to promote high school athletics, promote high school football in a positive manner. In our magazine, we have over 5,000 names of high school students. For most of them, it's the only time their name's going to be in print in a positive light. We have probably over 1,000 pictures of players, most of them seniors. I know Coach Toddy is one who believes in the headshots of seniors, guys who stuck with you, and he'll tell us these are the guys to run. They've earned their right. They've paid their dues. And that's kind of just a little bit about the magazine, but we do more than that. We do rankings, we do predictions. That makes 50% of the people every week happy, 50% mad, but that's just something we've had to learn to deal with, because it gets the name out there, and I'll put it to you that way. Bad publicity is better than no publicity. So we also do multiple radio shows that we're either on. I'm on 5 hours a week on Friday on a statewide radio show on 103.7 The Buzz to preview high school games, wrap up high school games with scores. We also do our own Delta Pest Control football report, airing weekly on over 30 stations. And then we have 6 or 7 other shows that we're on weekly. We also have a weekly TV show that has evolved from a high school show to a high school preview show to a Razorback show, back to just this year will be a preview show and a wrap up from the Friday night games. It'll air Saturday mornings on Channel 7 at 10:30 before college football gets kicked off. That's a good way to start your Saturday to get some knowledge about what has just happened and what's going to happen. We also have a website. If you're at Hootens.com, we post scores throughout on Friday nights. If you need to see, if Gravette beat Pea Ridge, you can look that score up. We'll have that posted on our website Friday nights. As I go around the state, as I said, a lot of questions are asked, and that is my favorite part of the program. And I will open it up to questions in just a moment. But, our cover story this year is on 25 years we didn't want to make it about Hootens, our 25th year in business. We made it about 25 years of Arkansas in the SEC. But today, let's focus on 25 years of football in this state. And a lot of you have been coaching in this state for about that long or a little longer, or have been coaching football. And you've seen the evolution of football. You've seen football coaches especially go from the 2-a-day practices and where you ask players to work out in June and July to now you can kind of require them to work out, and you have team camps and 7-on-7. And Arkansas does have very liberal rules regarding that, and I think that has helped Arkansas football push to the forefront. Per capita, Arkansas ranks in the top 10 nationally in high school players signing Division I scholarships, football scholarships. But we're such a small state that the number pales in comparison to Texas, California, Florida. But we hold our own when it comes in Louisiana and Mississippi, obviously. But we hold our own when it comes to being able to produce quality players. And some years it may be 15. This year it's going to be probably about 30 to 35 guys from the state sign Division I scholarships. And then another 120 more will sign other scholarships with Division I AA type schools and Division II. And that's what we're thankful for. And that's what we like to focus on at Hootens Arkansas Football, is the in-state recruiting, the in-state guys, and those guys getting a chance to further their education and playing careers at these schools. Football in Southeast Arkansas has been very, very successful over the past 40 to 50 years. But you just look recently, Pine Bluff, 4 straight title game appearances. 1-point loss last year in the semifinals. I know that still has to bug Coach Bolding. And when you start talking about Pine Bluff, 51 playoff victories. That's second most in the highest classification, 7A and 6A. Second most behind Fort Smith Southside. It's quite an accomplishment, and more than any team in the 7A West, anything like that. When you dip down to 5A, Watson Chapel and Whitehall, I know Coach Dutton, that was just pretty much the epitome of what the series should be last year. It comes down to the final minutes, the final play. Watson Chapel finds a way to win it, and Watson Chapel then goes on to make the semifinals, and Whitehall turns it around from an 0-10 season to a conference championship season. One of the more remarkable feats that we've seen in high school football in quite some time. And then you start looking more in the defending 4A champions, and they're loaded again. What Coach Pennington's been able to do at Dumas, and we have coaches vote on our polls in our magazine. On every page we have a coaches poll in the statewide ranking that Hootens Arkansas Football gives them. Well, the coaches voted Dumas to finish second in the conference. Probably play Warren for a conference championship. And as you said, Coach, the key is going to be those linemen, the guys in the trenches. Warren does have a lot of guys back on offensive and defensive lines. That's when we picked Warren to win the state championship. Dumas is going to push them. Then you've got Hamburg, Monticello. Star City's got 16 starters back. The 8-4A is going to be a loaded conference once again. When you look down the road at Stuttgart, they believe they're in contention to play for another state championship. And then just go down the road a little bit to Fordyce, to Rising. What a great rivalry game that is. And Coach Toddy, I know being a Fordyce guy, that game means a lot to you. And Fordyce is loaded once again. And this will be, I guess, Fordyce getting ready to move down to Double A in a couple of years. But some other programs to watch for in the state. I think last year I said that somebody asked me who was the dark horse, and I said Hampton. They didn't field a team the year before, and here they are. They're going to win a game. And when I spoke in July, they didn't even have their quarterback. He came from Hermitage at the 1st of August. Went over there, but they're going to be a pretty powerful team once again. As I mentioned a minute ago, really we take pride in Arkansas guys getting a chance to play collegiately and at the level. And looking, Coach Coleman at UAPB, I know that you were real excited coming out of the spring about what y'all were able to accomplish. When I started looking at your roster, found 4 to 5 potential starters from Arkansas on each side of the ball, and that's really good. The UAM has done a terrific job of being able to recruit those guys, and I think I've got 13 starters back. And Cole Sears, big fans of him and his dad, and at quarterback, excited to see what he can do. And then Henderson State, the coaches voted Henderson to finish 3rd in the conference, but with that offense, 10 guys back on offense, I don't see how. I know there's questions on defense, but Henderson has a reputation in Division II of putting up some more remarkable numbers. And I urge any of you who are able or capable to get out and see college football. It's not just about the Arkansas Razorbacks on Saturday in the state. There's a lot of other great football being played, and that's something that I try to do with my family. And I've got 2 young sons and 2 daughters, and to take them to other games. Went to the Battle of the Ravine. We've been to see UAPB play. That's our intention, is to get out and to see other schools play. And I urge you to do so. It's not just about 1 or 2 schools. Also ask about ASU. I'm an ASU alum, and boy, I take pride in the success that they've been able to have, but don't like the fact they've only got 2 Arkansas guys on their 2 deep. That really is a question, I think, among high school coaches in the state that was raised over the past year. To compile this magazine, what we do is we interview each and every coach in the state. We usually follow up with high school coaches, either through an interview or maybe it's a text message. Hey, did somebody quit? Did something happen? It's a process that starts the first part of January and takes to the first part of June to complete. The interview process, the writing, the editing process for the magazine. We have a guy who is based in South Arkansas. He is our GAC beat writer, and he calls each and every coach to interview them and to find out about who they've got returning. And I know at that level it can be some turnover, and he's got to stay on top of that, and that's his passion. And that's what we're about, is finding guys with passions to cover sports, whether it be high school or college sports. Everywhere I go, I'm asked about the Razorbacks, and if I had to make a prediction, I would say 6 wins would be pretty good, and they may surprise me. I think it's a very pivotal year as far as the nature of the program goes, and to see the beat up. There's just not much enthusiasm following 2 late season losses last year. As I hit on a minute ago, we do a lot of research. We hire different writers, and we do have a guy based in Northwest Arkansas who covers the Razorbacks on our website. But Also on our website, as I've mentioned before, we have recruiting stories. We will have scores of games. Those scores are updated throughout Friday nights, and usually by 10:30, 11 o'clock on Friday nights, we are going to have a complete score list of every high school game in the state. So, if you're on the bus ride back from playing at Hamburg or Monticello, you can get out your smartphone and look up the score and see what else has happened across the state. This time, I'd like to open up the floor to questions regarding anything football related in the state.
Could you talk about a high number of Division I scholarship being offered to high school players from the state?
It is. It's looking like a banner year for high school players in the state, and really good year for linemen. And that's rare in Arkansas. Central Arkansas has been able to produce a lot of skill players who are Division I guys, but the linemen are lacking. This year, you've got Luke Jones at Pulaski Academy, who's a Division I lineman. You got Noah Gatlin at Jonesboro, Division I lineman. Billy Farrell at Fordyce blew him away at the Razorback camp. Got Division I offers now. It's a high number. We do see it cycle. In my years, really seen it go up and down. Six years ago, I guess it was, Northwest Arkansas produced 6 Division I linemen, which was unheard of at that time, just out of the 7A West schools. Since then, they've only produced 1. And we just see that cycle go. And for the state of Arkansas to have success on the high school ranks and to flow into the college ranks, you've got to be able to have those type of players. And I know some of it just has to do with as coaches say, the cyclical nature of it. You're going to have good skill players come along, you're going to have good linemen come along, but we're really seeing the development of these linemen, and a lot of that has to go back to the high school coaches in the state and the job they're able to do, and some of it can go back now to the summer work and summer workouts, and there's a good lineman at Luke Jones has another good lineman, Caden Halls. His brother, or Luke, signed a scholarship with Utah State a couple of years ago. I mean, he's going to be a junior. It's still coming in the Little Rock metro area to be able to produce those guys. And then Northwest Arkansas, that used to be what, I don't know if we want to call it a myth or not, but it used to be what the saying was. Central Arkansas was going to produce the skill guys. North and South had to produce the linemen, but we've kind of seen a little bit of reversal from that.
How do you think Northwest Arkansas has such success in football? Size of schools or what?
Size of the schools, good coaches, able to pay quite a bit of money. And I mean, they're getting coaches from Oklahoma. Stephen Neal comes from a defense coordinator at Jinx, Oklahoma, over to be the head coach at Little OP Ridge, who's now going to go from a couple of years ago, 2A school. Mike Herrig went there. Now they're bumping that 5A number. And it's just the pure number of people living there.
In your years that you've been with the magazine, if you had to pick the most talented, your favorite player that you've covered, who would it be?
Don't know about favorite. I've seen a lot of them. And I have made this statement before. We come out the year after Basile Shabazz is gone. So Basile's not part of the equation. Most exciting player, believe it or not, is a lineman from Hope, McTelvin again. The guy could kick, would run, would catch passes, he quarterbacked. Then he would go out and make 16 tackles a game on defense, and he had no help, really. He's pretty amazing, and he's going to be enjoying the next 2 years at Arkansas because he'll be in the NFL after that.
Who are the top 10 prospects in the state?
With the top 10, the number 1 has to be, and he's got no offers because he's not eligible, is Nathan Page from Joe T. Robinson. And then Ladarius Bishop from Ashdown. We do have a recruiting list in our magazine, but those 2 guys jump right out at me. And we also had Bohannon from Earl on there with SEC offers, and Connor Nolan from Greenwood, who is committed to Arkansas. But word is he's going to be a very high major league draft pick, and he and Cameron Mace-Hunt from Bentonville have decisions to make over the next year over that. And then Jaden Hill we've got him ranked as the number 5 prospect in the state, and he's committed to play baseball at LSU. And that, here it is, at least 2 of our top 5 players are potential major league type baseball guys. Shows you the diversity of athletes we do have in the state, and that does bode very well. And then Sean Michael Flanagan and then Hunter Swoboda from Bentonville West. He was at Joe T. Robinson last year, and I think he went to Bentonville West on the second day there, shattered his leg at a combine rather. So that hurts him. And then two linemen, Jake Hardage and Luke Jones, both of them have SEC offers. Hardage is from Pocahontas, and Luke, of course, from Pulaski Academy.
I'm a Hendrix graduate. How's your team look
Best offense, had a terrific offense, and one thing that Buck has done there is he's been able to tap into some really good players, and he's getting them from North Central and Northwest Arkansas who are able to come play for him. And Wynn jumps out at me. He got coming from Pea Ridge to be the top running back, one of the best, I guess, in Division III last year. And their expectations are sky high, and Lyon College is hoping to improve as well in the Division III ranks. And I talked to a guy this morning who was going up. His son was going to go try out for Lyon College this morning. Or had tried out and was hoping to walk on here in a couple of weeks at Line.
Where is UAR going to go around the football program?
They say they have the money, but I don't. Boy, that would be very difficult. That would be any college coach could attest to the difficulty it would be and monumental task it would be, and then having to go on that probationary period because they do want to be. The word is they want to be a Sun Belt member within, I think it's 5 years, and it's going to be very tough to do.
Is that what's really motivating this push for football? The Sun Belt, or where's the push coming from?
A few individuals with money who a few individuals who can finance the program who do not support the University of Arkansas anymore, is what I've been told. But will their support be there in 10 years? I don't know. And keep War Memorial Stadium. There's people who want to do that, yes.
The coaching changes that have occurred in the state, is the most significant one.
I think the one that jumps off the page at you, we do have coaching changes in our magazine, and we average 30 to 40 a year, and this year I think it's at 48, which is, if you start looking at it, a quarter of the coaches in the state change every year. It's a tough business, and it is a business. It's got to that standpoint. But the big one has to be Billy Dawson leaving Russellville, who just won a state championship for Fayetteville, and Coach Dawson's won championships at Nashville, now at Russellville, and he hopes to do the same at Fayetteville. It may take him 2 years, but we believe he'll get it done. Any others? If not, if you got something to ask me, the other day I was really accosted about somebody's hatred of the athletic director at the University of Arkansas after the program, so you're welcome to bend my ear about something like that after the program. Thank y'all.
Barry Grooms, thank you so much for coming back. We'll see you again next year, hopefully, and great program. Members, guests, sponsors, thank you all for coming. Coaches and players, appreciate you all as well. I'm going to say one other thing, and I'll turn it over to Alan to close up. President Robert, we have one of my guests today is a new Simmons employee, Russell Barker. I wish Russell to stand up. We're happy to have him on board, and he's certainly a potential new member for our club. So we don't need to let him out of here before we sign up.
Thank you, Pat.
Okay, Barry, great job as always, and enjoyed today's presentation. I enjoyed listening to you on the radio. I heard him on there Tuesday afternoon. It kind of gets the blood flowing a little bit because, we're about to get through the dog days of summer and fall camp's going to be starting soon. So anyway, I know we've already acknowledged some of the sponsors and special guests and so forth today, and kind of on a personal note, but I just want to thank all the high school and college football coaches for all that you do. If I were going to list on one hand the persons that were most influential in my life personally, one of them would be my high school football coach. So whether you like it or not, or agree or not, you're making an influence on young men's lives. So we appreciate that. For players, my message for you is these are the best days of your life. So take it and bottle it up and try to save those memories. So does anybody else have any questions or comments or anything they'd like to add today? All right. So if nobody has anything else to add to the meeting is adjourned. Thank you for being here today. Have a safe trip home. Hope you have a great, successful 2017 football campaign.